My name is Mark Ryan. I'm going to walk you through zero trust testing, Zscaler Private Access Transformation Edition. So I've got three different clients down here. I've got a managed client with Zscaler Client Connector. It's managed by Azure AD. I've got another managed device that doesn't have the client connector on there. This could be a third-party enrolled and managed device, for example. And I've got an unmanaged device, a total third-party device. The managed and unmanaged devices will go through our browser-based access, client browser isolation, whereas the managed device with the client connector will go through the trust exchange and be able to access any resource. I've got some stuff in AWS, I've got app connectors and cloud connectors and workloads, and I've got some workloads in my data center, again with app connector connectivity. So I'll show you those different device types trying to access some resources. I'll show you browser isolation. I'll show you the inspection policy, so how we inspect HTTP, HTTPS traffic. I'll show you cloud connector connectivity from AWS to my data center. I'll show you that privileged remote access, how we could do SSH and RDP support through the browser isolation, or the privileged remote access isolation. And I'll show you Zscaler deception as well. So let's jump ahead with this. So I've got my managed device here. I'm going to go ahead and launch Zscaler Client Connector on this to demonstrate the process of enrolling Zscaler Client Connector. So I'm enrolling this on my network. It's doing device authentication. It's doing Kerberos authentication to my ADFS server. It's getting enrolled. SAML assertion is being passed to Zscaler. We're consuming that, and we can see that it's enrolled, authenticated for private access, internet security, and ZDX as well. We're really only interested in private access for this demonstration. So I'll go ahead, I'll open up a browser, I'll go to apache.welshgeek.net, I go ahead and access it, all well and good, nice and quick to pop up. We know it's going through private access because if we ping it, we get this stub IP address back, knowing that it's an isolated IP address local to the machine. If we jump across to the managed device without client connector and open up a browser and go to apache.welshgeek.net, we're going to get, again, redirected. Now we're hitting the browser-based access at this point, so we can go ahead and we can log in here. But I'm actually going to use, no I'm not, I'm going to use a certificate at this point because it's a managed device. We've got certificates on it. We'll go ahead and do certificate-based authentication, and I just get the web page displayed. If I go ahead here and ping that, we're hitting the Zscaler public exporter process, meaning that it's a browser-based access. Let's go ahead to the unmanaged machine and open up this and go to the same web page. Again, we're going to get redirected to the IDP. We need to authenticate all the time. We need to understand who users are and what their device posture is. We'll log in here. I'm going to use username and password at this point because I'm an unmanaged device and I don't have any certificates. At this point, I get taken into isolation. So here we're on the isolation platform. All the screen is rendered. The pixels are scraped and delivered to the user's machine, meaning that I can't see any of the cookies. I can't see anything that's passed into the browser between the website, and it gives us an extra layer of protection. So let's go ahead and do a couple of kind of attacks. We know that we can do things like SQL injection attacks. So we'll start with a SQL injection attack from the browser, from the cloud browser isolation. Again, I'll post that attack in. I get redirected into isolation, and from the isolated container to the web server, we're doing inspection. And the inspection at this point sees that isolation and forbids the access. Now, as you'd expect, we can go through and do this on the device with browser-based access. We could do a PHP injection attack, trying to get some information about the version of PHP that's running. Again, that gets forbidden. Or we could do something like, or try for remote browser. Make sure we're doing this right on the right machine. And try for rote code execution, and again that gets forbidden. All nice and simple. So let's let's do this from the managed machine. We can SSH -I with my key to -L admin to my Bastion host, which is on US East 1.welshgeek.net. That's interesting. Fat fingers. There we go. And here I've got an updated file, so I could copy this file to my we're going to secure copy that file to root at centos.welshgeek.net. And it's in var www.html root. And we log on to that. And this is coming again through Zscaler private access. We could even SSH from here, from the Bastion host, root at centos.welshgeek.net. So my Bastion host, even though it's in AWS, is providing me connectivity into services that are in my data center and gives me that full control from that point. So I go into /var because I've got a funny feeling I've got the directory wrong. Here we go. I know what I did was I copied the file, but I didn't rename it. So if we move that index update to index.html, and we overwrite that file. Let's come back to the unmanaged device here and go to apache.welshgeek.net now. We'll see that those files have changed as you'd expect, nice and simple. But the Bastion host is giving me SCP, SSH access onwards from my VPC in AWS across the network to things within my physical data center. Okay, so from there, let's take a look from my unmanaged device, and I want to do some support access. So I go to privaccess.welshgeek.net. Now this is giving me privileged remote access. I can do things from here, like I can access that CentOS server again in a similar to an isolated browser, and I can come across. I can go to that /var www.html directory. I can see those files again. I moved that file, so what I want to do is move index.html to index_update.html, and we'll move. And what we'll do is we'll cp the index orig back to index.html, and we'll just double check that. Let's come back to the original file. So we've got things like RDP access. We can do remote RDP sessions. This takes me into my domain controller, where I could go ahead and check out the users and groups within Active Directory and make changes if I need to do that. I wanted to load up. Or we could do something really good, like we could RDP from here onto the managed device. So I'm doing client-to-client connectivity onto, and we see this session has been disconnected because I'm now have access through my client-to-client connectivity on that managed device. All quite interesting, giving support, third-party support access to our managed devices. But That's not really what we want to do. So what we'll do is we'll disconnect that session. We'll close down these tabs because we've gone through those. We should exit this one. There we go. We can close all of these down. So let's go back to our connection center and jump back onto that managed machine whilst it unlocks. So let's go ahead here and pretend we're an attacker. We've got this machine, we've remote controlled this machine, and let's have a look in our favorites. We've got an SAP server, we've got a Swift server. Let's try and we know a couple of things about Swift. We've got a default password for Swift, and we can jump in here and kind of see what's going on. And we also know that Swift has an SSH session, so we could SSH root at what do we call it? Swift60.welshgeek.net. So we've got access to Swift. Interesting. Kernel okay. So we're now on the Swift server, and we could go ahead and hack around on this Swift server and get some data about it and figure out what's going on and make real changes to this server. Now, of course, this server isn't a real server. It's part of our deception techniques. So Zscaler deception allows me to put lures onto machines, trick users into following these lures, and then understand what those users are doing and make changes to our security posture. So let's go ahead and figure out what's going on with all of these things. So the first thing I'll do is I'll come back to my ADFS server. I'm going to do admin SSO into the Zscaler Private Access Administration console. We'll have a look at some of these logs. We can see all of this access that's going on here. We can take a look at diagnostics. We can see the access through the Swift server, the SAP server, all those different accesses coming through, including the client-to-client connectivity. We can take a look at the inspection policy. We saw a bunch of requests that were successful. Here are the inspections where we block the traffic due to them being remote code execution using the Zscaler inspection capabilities. I'm not going to go through all of the different settings that are here. We could come in here and take a look at the Zscaler deception. It's asking me for multi-factor authentication. So we'll jump in there. We can see the different applications that have been set up. Let's understand a bit about those lures. We can see that this user on this machine tried to access two different applications. They were SAP and they were Swift. They were orchestrated through the ZPA appliance to the Zscaler deception, and we could drill in here and look at these logs and understand all of those different things that that user was doing. So Transformation Edition gives us a lot of functionality to really understand what users are doing, inspecting what users are doing, given a number of different connectivity mechanisms, as well as understanding those the deception for those nefarious users and their activity. Hope this was useful. Any questions, let me know. Mark@zscaler.com.